Tonight, Local 2 investigates a deal costing taxpayers millions.
Yeah, we showed you the fight over the City of Freeport's use of eminent domain to build a private marina back in 2003.
Now, city leaders said that this private marina would pump hundreds of jobs and millions of dollars into the coastal town's struggling economy. But 7 years later, KPRC Local 2 investigative reporter Robert Arnold uncovers the marina is barely open. And wait until you see how taxpayers are stuck with this bill.
At Captain Mark's seafood market, they're not only waiting for the next catch.
It's supposed to bring in, more people, more tourists.
They're also waiting for this marina to finally pay out the economic windfall the City of Freeport promised.
Everybody's just waiting for it to open, They keep setting dates and nothing's happened.
7 years ago, city leaders told the people of Freeport this private marina would pump tens of millions of dollars worth of new businesses into the town and create more than 100 new jobs. All that for a city-funded loan of just $6.8 million. But 7 years later, Freeport taxpayers have spent roughly $10 million, and the marina isn't even finished. We also couldn't find any of the promised new businesses, and the land where the hotels were supposed to go is still vacant.
It was just ungodly at all of the mistakes that had been made.
Current Freeport Mayor Larry McDonald was not in office when this marina deal was inked, but he's now responsible for getting it back on track.
Maybe my children or grandchildren will be able to see something out of this.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
We feel that we're going to benefit every person who lives in the city of Freeport.
We first told you about the marina in 2003 when Freeport tried to use the power of eminent domain to take 300 feet of dock from Western Seafood, a business that's been in town for 60 years.
It would have destroyed our business.
Western Seafood owner Wright Gore made national headlines fighting the city's eminent domain claims in court. He eventually won, and nearly $500,000 taxpayer dollars were paid just to settle the case.
The taxpayer lost because they had to foot the bill for all these lawsuits that they never supported in the first place.
But that court fight was just the beginning. $2.4 million tax dollars were spent to construct this building as a place for people to dry dock their boats. Just a couple of problems, though. One, part of this building was actually built on the state's right-of-way.
It's going to fall back on us to figure out what we're going to do to fix it.
Freeport City Manager Jeff Pines also inherited the problems with the marina. Pines says if the city can't work out a deal with the state, then there's a chance a 30-foot section of the building would have to be torn down and reconstructed.
Oh, we're hopeful. Nothing's been resolved at this point.
A private developer was supposed to own and operate the marina, but Pines and McDonald say the developer backed out of the deal. But before McDonald took office, the city decided to sell the land the marina sits on to that private developer. Then the city leased the land back for 40 years. That cost to taxpayers another $7.5 million.
Do you see how that's in any way, shape, or form fiscally responsible for the city? Or being good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars?
No, sir, it was not.
Hi, Robert Arnold with Channel 2. We then paid a visit to Freeport's former mayor, Jim Barnett. He was in office when the marina project was approved.
Why would the city sell property it owned and then turn around and lease it again?
I can't tell you the answer to that.
Barnett didn't have a lot of answers.
How would you sum up progress out there on that project?
Well, that's something I don't know.
Barnett says since he left office, he doesn't know how the marina project got so off track, but he's now back as the new head of the town's Economic Development Corporation. For McDonald and Pines, it adds up to $10 million taxpayer dollars that could have been better spent.
We could have really cleaned up the roads, the drainage.
If you look at the quality of life stuff that we could have got accomplished, we could have done a lot.
Pine says there's another problem with that boat storage building, and it's the 247 racks used to hold the boats. They were built improperly and would scratch up the bottom of the boat's hulls. And the city is going to have to fix that, too. Now, while the marina is not fully open, the city has started renting wet slips to boat owners. Pines believes the city can turn the project around and hopefully recoup the taxpayers' money. We will keep watching. Robert Arnold, KPRC Local 2.
Now, the City of Freeport has filed a lawsuit against that private developer who, in turn, is suing the city, claiming that it backed out of a promise to sell him another piece of that marina property. And now, if you've got a story for Local 2 Investigates, call their tip line at 713-223-TIPS, or you can email Local 2 Investigates at click2houston.com.